Hey guys, it's Kenny with Paranormal again. I mentioned in the previous video that I was gonna give you guys an update on what's been going on here at my house. But I've been recording with the trail cam at night and really haven't picked up too much since the first weird video that I caught. We've had a few things here and there that have happened. Sometimes I don't know, maybe I like see something out of the corner of my eye. Nothing really ever substantial. But, I've been setting this trail cam to record and didn't get anything until last night. But just to give you a backstory on this, my girlfriend and the kids are out of town and um, I'll be home, from last night till, a few nights from now alone at night until I join them. But I thought about it and I was like, I never have tried to record like a video of me sleeping whenever I'm alone. It's always my girlfriend sleeping here, so I was like maybe it'll be more active with just me sleeping here. So I set up my trail cam last night, and unfortunately too with that trail cam, when the batteries get really low on it, it no longer goes into night vision mode. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just to preserve the batteries, but I had to take the bathroom light and illuminate the bedroom, so that's why it kind of looks a little different than the previous videos. And I also took the camera and put it at a different angle since it's such a wide lens and such a wide recording. I wanted to try to capture the whole area over there, the bed. But anyways, so last night I didn't, as I was sleeping, I didn't have anything really weird happen. It seemed like at one point the bathroom light kind of got a little brighter and it woke me up. I was like I could see it through my eyelids and woke up for a brief second and went back to sleep. But I don't know what that was. But, woke up this morning, nothing happened, went to work, I get back home, and I remembered that I had recorded uh, last night. So I'm going through it, and then I find this video. Now, what's really weird about this video is that it's very similar to the one that I caught before. But just to give you an idea of what's going on here, I'm sleeping on my side. You can see my left arm right here, and you can see my left leg. And typically, I have sleep apnea, so I try to sleep on my side and, on my stomach. And when I sleep on my side, I always cross my arms. And what I do is I cross my arms and I tuck my arms in so that one of my arms doesn't hang off the bed and, ache and all that shit. But, so, I know for certain that whatever happens here, it's not my arm and it's not my leg. I've tried to reenact this to see if there was a way that maybe one of my limbs had moved this blanket this way, but nothing. I mean, I haven't been able to figure out what it could have been. So I'll go ahead and play it for you, but just right here in this spot, you'll see you'll see the blanket lift up. Sorry, let me start that over so it's not blocking the view. But yeah, you'll see the blanket lift up, and then it almost looks like something kind of goes up and crawls over me. And, what's really weird about that part, I haven't really figured out what that is. I know that part of it is my left arm, or maybe my hand is like scratching my side, my right hand. But it's really weird. I mean, because I can kind of see, like I lift my arm up as if to let it pass by. And like I said, I never woke up during this. I don't have any recollection of it. But you can see the blanket just lift up, it lifts again, and then it goes up into the blanket and then over me. Really bizarre. It goes up and then across. So, very similar to that video that I got before of the blanket being lifted over my feet. And I don't know, my best guess, I know that it's not me. And we do have pets, but they're not allowed in the room at night. We keep them all out of the room. The dog's crated, the ferret's caged, the cats always stay in the living room with, the other animals, but and I know it's not my son, he's not even here right now. But it just seems like whatever this is, my best guess is if it is a spirit, it's a kid. It really seems like something a little kid would do, like just kind of messing with the blankets, crawling across the bed, grabbing at my legs. I've had that happen a few times where it feels like a little hand like hits my leg or like kind of grabs at my leg real quick. And the other weird thing about this too is that because I work during the day and my girlfriend will have days off and she'll be home and like sleeping in the bed and she's the only one here, but she'll hear movement inside the house or like one time she saw a shadow at the foot of the door of our bedroom because she'll lock the bedroom door, and she said she heard what sounded like my voice, and then the sound of I always keep like a key ring on my belt loop, and she said she could hear the sound of my keys. It was almost like it just like mimicked me. And she had an incident between the time of the last video to this one where she was home one day and she had texted me and said, "Hey, did you stop by the house at all?" And I said, "No." I was like, I'm pretty far out today." And she said, "Well," she was like, "I was sleeping," and she said, "I woke up to the sound of somebody knocking at the front door," which, was most likely somebody knocking at the door. And she said she could hear a voice inside of the house, say hello. And she said it sounded like a guy's voice, but it wasn't my voice. She said she heard a person say hello. And she just said, she told me, she's like, I know for certain I heard it. I was awake and heard it. And, she's not really like into all this stuff. She has a slight interest in paranormal stuff, but if she hears something and she tells me about it, I believe her 100%. She just not one of those people that's gonna bullshit me. And it's just really odd because I mean, there's just so many times where even when I'm home, I was home yesterday. I took them to the airport and I got home and it almost sounded like somebody inside of my one of my son's rooms. And then it kind of clicked in my head for a second when I realized I was like, oh, they're not even here. I was like, how would there be a sound in there? But for the most part, like I said, I usually ignore it. I don't try to pay attention to it or give it too much, of my attention and my time. But with it having these situations where I'm waking up at night to it, crawling across the bed and all this shit, I'm just like, okay, well, I got to figure out what this is. But yeah, I mean, this is really bizarre. I don't know what its infatuation with the blanket is. I don't know why it seems to like lifting the blanket up. Like I said, it could be like a kid. I don't know if you guys have had experiences like this before, where maybe if you have like, it might seem like the spirit of like a kid, and it's just really weird. I don't know. But yeah, you guys, sorry, dogs out running around making a mess of everything. But you guys watch it. Let me know what you think. Like I said, if you've had an incident like this before, or had like a haunting of like maybe a spirit of a kid, whatever it is, just kind of give me some ideas on what I can do to maybe help it move on. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated after I record again tonight, and if I catch anything, I'll make another video and show you guys. But until then, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.